as we said at the end of the last video, we want to find a more dynamic way to create objects or instances of objects, because we don't want to have to deal with a lot of different, class, whatever the person's name is, and then have to define, okay, we have a new person who's of, object Jared Goff, right? So let's create a more generalized way to do this. We're going to say class football player, okay? And now we're going to create a object method, okay? It's called def init, okay? So this is standard in Python. It's built in, so anytime you use this method init with these two underscores before and after, it's going to take initial values for the function, for the object instance. This doesn't really mean a whole lot, so let's actually start getting into it so we'll understand what that means. Okay, and let's get rid of all this for now, okay? So now we're going to put all of the values that we want to define. So in any object, you can reference itself using self, okay? So what this is doing is for any instance you define, you want to actually apply certain values to that instance. So let's say for self.firstName equals whatever we want it to equal, okay? What do we want it to equal? Well, this is a function, right? So if we were to just ignore this class football player part, just think of this as a function. Well, how would we send a value to the function? Well, we first have to send the value self, okay? That's in any object method. Then we're going to put in first name, okay? Then instead of it being any specific string, we can just say self.firstName is first name, okay? So now we can define Jared Goff equal to football player, and we're going to send in an argument, Jared, okay? So what's going to happen is anything you put in this parentheses is going to be sent to this initialization or this init method, okay? And it'll take the argument first name. It is implicit that self is being passed in, so you don't need to worry about passing self whenever you create a new instance of an object. And this is what we're doing. We're creating a new instance of football player called Jared Goff with different attributes. And the attribute for the first name is going to be Jared, okay? So if we were to run this, it's not going to do anything yet. But if we were to print Jared Goff dot first name, we get Jared, okay? So now let's add more, right? We have the last name, we have the team, we have position, and we have jersey number, okay? So let's say self.lastName equals last name, self.team equals team, self.position equals position, and self.jersey number equals jersey number. Okay, so now we're going to have to give multiple arguments to this object instance, right? Because right now we're just giving the first name. We're going to put in Golf as the last name. For team, let's do Los Angeles Rams. Position is going to be quarterback, and jersey number is going to be 16, okay? So now we can rerun the code and say Jared Goff dot position. What do you think we're going to get from here? It should be quarterback. And that's exactly what it is, okay? It's a little confusing. You have the self here. Go through this slow. Try changing different values, changing the names of different attributes, because it can be a lot at once just to understand what is this init method, what does self mean. There's a lot of resources to help explain what self is. And yeah, so notice though, we can change this to anything. We can say Todd Gurley. We can put Todd Gurley. He's still on the Los Angeles Rams, except he's a running back. And his number's 30. Okay, now we don't have Jared Goff anymore, we have Todd Gurley. dot position, and he's a running back, so that's what we'll get. So now you can easily reuse this code whenever you want to define a new football player. Okay, I know that's a lot. The self could be very confusing. Make sure you ask questions in the Q&A section if you come into any problems, and don't be afraid to Google anything that you may be wondering. Okay, thank you.